This is how to earn a college wrestling scholarship on a budget. Very simple. Spend your time training and your money training and not these stupid so-called national wrestling tournaments. For example, you go to a so-called national wrestling, and there's about 3 national tournaments, and I would encourage you to hit one of those every year, if not all 3. But you just bounce around to all these random out-of-town tournaments, and what happens, you spend $500, you get 16 minutes of wrestling. Let's just call it 20, which is probably not the case. So then you say, man, wrestling camp is expensive. Well, my wrestling camp's just under $100 a day. So let's say you come to my camp for 30 hours of wrestling, but you say that's too expensive. But you always go to the so-called national tournaments. So if you get, for $500, you get 20 minutes of wrestling. For $500 at my camp, you get 30 hours of wrestling. So it's gonna be $1,500 an hour to get mat time at a so-called national tournament. It takes 30 of those. $45,000 is what you'll have to spend, right? You'll have to spend $45,000 to get 30 hours of live wrestling, or of wrestling in general, at the so-called national tournament route. You spend $500, you come to, let's say, my camp, it's 30 hours of very intense drill time. Their feet never stop moving. We don't do push-ups, we don't run, we don't waste anybody's time. Plus you get what? Hour and 15 minutes of live wrestling a night. So 5 or 6 hours of live wrestling. Let's just say the 6 hours of live wrestling that you get, holy cow, you're spending $1,500 an hour. You get 5 hours of live wrestling. What's that, $7,500, right? So you need to spend the money, not necessarily coming to my camp. There's a lot of camps out there. You know, you do what you want. But I'm telling you, if you're taking the tournament route to earning a college scholarship, it's not going to work, because just because it's your entertainment maybe, and that's okay. I like watching my kids play sports too. You know, what happens is you'll spend $600, your kids gets 11 minutes of wrestling or less, they win the tournament, and you're happy on the drive home. But then you say, oh, we can't go to wrestling camp, we can't afford it. No, maybe you don't want to send them to camp because it's not fun for you. I say this, you know, 45 grand, I would say send them to a couple of camps a year, skip some of these stupid tournaments, and then you can go to a movie, right? Or get a bass boat and go fishing, or, you know, read books, or whatever the wife likes to do, right? But I think sometimes we get bogged down in the tournament route just because they're fun, they're family trips. But you know what? You want to earn a college wrestling scholarship,